All right, episode 5, right?
4.
5. Because we had Nancy, you know who you are.
Tall the Sexy Beast. This is 4.
No, there was another one. Maybe not. Maybe I don't know.
Episode 0.
Episode 0!
OMG.
That's what I'm
it was
thinking
like a minute
of.
long.
All right, hello everybody, and welcome to the Clown Show. I hated that. Do your
Oh
thing.
my god, we both did it at the same time. I'm Trish.
And I'm Marley. 15 years ago, one of us got a very special surprise in the form of a baby.
Who dat?
It was you.
It was me.
I was the baby. And ever since we've been putting on the Clown Show.
The Clown Show.
Hey, Mom.
Marley?
How are you doing? Honestly, it's been really tough for me. I know.
Today, has been hard. My avocado toast didn't get chewed. It got inhaled.
And you followed me around a thrift store for like an hour.
Around a thrift store. Judged a woman who was wearing a mask under her chin.
Nobody checked me out at the thrift store, but just happened.
Whoa. That old lady.
That old lady was all over me.
And then we went and got adjusted at the chiropractor, which was lovely.
Dr. Mitch, shout out.
Better have my money. No, he was fantastic.
He was. My neck cracked so loud, it was so great.
And then, we went to Costco, which is always a
got
good
some car
time.
hummus. Which is tradition at this point. You gotta eat hummus in the car.
I mean,
out of a Ziploc bag. It has to be sitting in your glove compartment for at least a week.
Right. A full pound of hummus. Uncontained.
Israeli hummus. It's spelled hummus.
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 And non-dippers. And then, while you eat it in the passenger seat, I blindly grab at it and try to get hummus, too.
She just has, handfuls of hummus just, in her hand.
My
it's, under her
steering
fingernails.
wheel is a mess.
It's so gross.
It's so nasty, but it's good.
And the 2 listeners we had just clicked off.
Yeah. Bye, Kevin.
Bye, Diana.
Mark.
Bye, Nellie.
So how are you, Marley?
I'm great.
News.
I got into Governor's Honors Program, which is really, really exciting, and I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be great.
Super excited for you.
Thanks. Hold on, I got a burp. Wait, nope, not coming.
That's
It'll come in a second.
burp.
That's a vomit.
Yucky.
Why are we holding hands?
You grabbed my hand.
I don't know why I grabbed your hand.
Anyway.
That was weird. Okay.
So you'll be gone for 4 weeks out of the summer, and we have a very special guest filling in. We're not going to tell you, though. You have
but
to
you
wait
can
and
probably
see.
guess. The first person who guesses gets nothing.
We'll send you some merch.
That
Not ours.
No, just merch.
It's just merch. Maybe some car hummus. If you're
It's
lucky.
just coupons from the mail.
Valpacks.
Kroger coupons. It's like a TV guide. I didn't even know they still sent these. I didn't know this still was a thing. Good stuff. Alright, so we had a fun little topic we wanted to discuss today.
You had a fun little topic.
I had a fun little
topic. I never want to talk about it.
This is terrible. So, I wanted to talk about pregnancy. And here's why. Here's why I wanted to talk about it. I can't fathom what that would be like whatsoever. And Mom's done it twice. And, I'm just curious because I feel like we haven't talked about it.
Okay, well, I'll give you the short version, and then you can ask questions.
Okay.
So, it's weird at first. At first, you don't feel anything, obviously.
Right.
But then, when the baby starts to move, it's, odd.
When does the baby start to move?
It's different for everybody, but, you'll feel, probably around, I'll say 12 weeks, 15 weeks, you'll feel a little, kind of like a flutter.
How did you... Excuse me. That was the burp. How did you, find out you were pregnant, though? Let's talk about that. With me.
With you, specifically?
Give us all the juicy details.
So, I was at... Okay, so... Oh, God. This is so uncomfortable.
Let's talk about it. Let's dish. Unfiltered, uncorked.
So, it was Christmas weekend. Your dad came to visit. My stomach was
hurting. They were not living together, which is a sin. They were not married.
Crying. No, but I remember, okay, so my stomach was a little upset, and your dad was like, oh, I'm sorry that your stomach hurts, that's weird, whatever. 'Cause that's how your dad talks.
Yeah.
And we went to see whichever of the, I think it's Meet the Fockers. We went to see that movie, and in that movie, she finds out she's pregnant, and she's says something like, her boobs hurt, and she can smell everything. And I was like,
that's so weird.
And I was like, all right. So then he goes back home, and I'm over at Aunt Beth's, and Oh, sorry.
Silence your phone!
Sorry, I am, like, super popular. I can't. I'm a doctor. What if my patients need me? I'm a Dr. Pepper.
She's a billing specialist.
Wow, when you say it like that, it sounds pretty lame.
Yeah, I'm making it sound
Anyway, so I'm
lame.
at Aunt Beth's house, and at the time, I believe...
Aunt Beth being her sister.
Yes, my sister. And my mom was there.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of...
This is uncomfortable.
I know, you asked. I kind of made
did.
mention, like, things are weird. I'm not feeling great, whatever. And Aunt Beth at the time had a pregnancy test upstairs. She goes, just go take it. And, you know.
Right, well, let's just
and I'm like, all right, thinking nothing of it. So I go upstairs to their bathroom. Everybody else is downstairs. And I pee on the stick. And it almost immediately shows positive. Like, they make
Like,
you
you got a big fat baby in
Right.
there.
They make you think in movies that you have to wait exactly 3 minutes, but it immediately showed a line.
And how would you react? What were your
I
thoughts?
may have cried.
That's normal.
And Uncle Jody may have come home while I'm crying in his bathroom, and he immediately turned around and went right back downstairs. So I tell Aunt Beth, and I'm hysterical, of
Right.
course. And keep in mind, I'm unemployed at the time.
Right.
Like, not...
This is not an ideal situation
not
to have
the
a baby.
best time to have a baby.
How long had you known Dad? Not long.
I mean, it's been a solid month. Whatever. Anyway,
That's a sin. They
no,
were
actually,
not
it's
married.
Probably 2 months.
Oh,
at
well,
this
that's
point.
good.
I mean, but so we
Sounds like
go
a little
to
Christmas
Family
gift.
Dollar of all places, but that's the closest store,
Right.
And they
I've
sell
been there.
they
I know.
sell family pregnancy tests. So we bought like 3 of them, and every last one.
Everyone
of them
said
was
you got a big fat baby in there.
Mm-hmm. And I cried and cried and cried, and then Grandma said, please tell me you know who the father is. And I was like, okay, well, this revealed some fun opinions I didn't know
Some
about.
feelings that people had about me in my life.
But yeah, that's how I found out.
Wow. And then 15 later. 15 later.
15 later, skaters. No, and it was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Aw,
So.
Mom. Thanks.
But yeah, the first you feel the baby is like just like a little flutter. And then as the baby grows, like when it actually starts like moving limbs and everything, you can really feel it. And then by the time you have the baby, it's super weird because you don't feel the baby anymore because obviously the baby's not there.
Right.
And it was like, I never thought I'd be like, oh, this is weird. I can't feel
Right.
her move.
I can't feel a person inside me.
And what's funny is you always, stop it, you always had the hiccups when you were a larger in utero. And it used to get on my
That's
nerves.
what they call me in
Larger in
college.
utero.
My college
But
nickname.
my big old belly would just twitch because you had hiccups, and I'd kind of get mad at you, even though you literally
could not help it. I
haven't
was
even taken your first breath.
fetus.
But yeah, that's about it. But near the end, I have this theory that pregnancy gets really hard near the end because it's Mother Nature's way of you're no longer scared of birth. Because you're so miserable, you're like, just get here.
Get it
I'm
out of
so
me.
Sick.
So did you like pregnancy? Like
No.
some people are like, man, pregnancy's so magical, and I don't believe that for a second.
Well, a lot of people like thrive being pregnant, and they glow, and
Good
they just
for
feel
them.
great.
Good for
and
you.
they-
If you're one of
I
those
was-
people listening, good for you.
If I'm not mistaken, Aunt Beth was that way. I think I can't
for
really
you,
remember
Aunt
because
Beth.
I wasn't around for most of her pregnancy with.
Does Aunt Beth
AJ.
listen?
I don't.
Aunt Beth,
think
if you
so.
listen, text penis to one of us.
Oh Lord.
And don't cheat. Don't tell her to text us penis. Don't you do it. Don't
We
try
are
to
some
save her.
Gentle women and scholars.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies.
But yeah, like
society.
I was put on bed rest with you because my amniotic fluid was
So I was a
low.
big fat baby.
Well, no, actually, you weren't very large. But
That was the fat one.
But I remember I was first of all, I was so sick of being home. So I remember one day I went to Babies R Us and just walked around, and Miss Jo called me and she's like, what are you doing? And I was like, walking around Babies R Us, and she scolded me. She's like, you were supposed to be on bed rest. I'm like, I can't stay home anymore. But near the end,
Topical given 2020, am I right, ladies?
right,
Touch
man.
my butt and feed me tacos.
But it feels like everything's gonna fall out of your vajayjay.
Ooh, fun.
Yeah, it's good times.
I love
And
that
I was
feeling.
super my
Kegels.
morning sickness with both of you was really bad. So no, pregnancy was not pleasant for me.
What about with Ian? How'd you find out you're pregnant with Ian? Because Ian wasn't.
We
Surprise.
were trying, so every once in a while.
Because you were getting sick of me.
I couldn't deal with one-on-one with you anymore. I said, she needs a playmate. But yeah, with Ian we were trying, so I would take a test every once in a while. And there he was.
There he was, little guy. Mm-hmm. He was the fat one.
He really was.
Which is funny, because he's so skinny.
They, estimated him to be over 10 pounds, but he was only 9'3".
That sounds terrible for you.
Now he's just
wait, you didn't give vaginal birth. Talk about a C-section.
Okay, it's major surgery. They slit you open. Want to see the
Take
scar? I'm showing her the scar right now. I'm just kidding. I'm not.
She's not. She did not do anything.
That is disgusting.
I mean, I've seen it.
Well, with you, obviously, it was not planned C-section.
They thought we were both gonna die for a second.
I got the epidural, and immediately my blood pressure bottomed out, and like all nurses were like screaming and forcing oxygen on me and everything.
Which sounds super like a nice, like gentle birth experience.
But what's funny is the nurses, when they talk to me, they'd be like, "You're fine.
It's fun. Get her some oxygen!"
And then they're yelling at each other, and your dad's standing there with this freaked out look on his face.
Which my dad is a very, like, level-headed man. Like,
very calm.
Doesn't, like, get freaked out often. He's very, like, steadfast in the face of panic.
He wasn't, like, panicking or anything. He just looked concerned. And
but you can tell when he's panicked.
I kept taking the oxygen mask off to ask, what's happening? What's happening? I mean, they had me laid back, and things were beeping. And he wouldn't answer me. He just kept putting the mask back on my face. Like, okay, he doesn't want me to die. So that was scary.
He doesn't want his kid to be motherless.
The doctor was very nice about it, though. He was like, her blood pressure's dropping. Yours has dropped. And I had stopped dilating.
Was this, maybe it was just meant to happen?
Yes. Yeah. That guy. Ugh. I loved him. He delivered both of you. That
was not a great moment for him. No. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. So, he gently asked, is it okay if we do a cesarean? And inside, I'm not one of those people that are like, I really just want to experience it naturally. I was like high-fiving myself inside. I was like, drug me up,
if
take
you
her
see
out.
Baby mama, you will appreciate
Yes.
that. Where's my mic? Appreciate it.
Okay, don't.
I do what I want.
So I was like, yes, give me a C-section. I don't care. So that everything went well, except you pooped in my womb. We've covered that before.
Septic wound,
yeah,
yes,
and you had a fever
Aunt
when
Natty.
you were born, so you were in NICU for, probably... NICU was probably 3 or 4 days.
Can I say something?
Sure.
My chemistry teacher unironically said golly gee the other day, and my friends and I haven't stopped talking about it since. She said, golly gee.
You guys are jerks.
I know, we're terrible people.
Bullies.
Yeah, we're terrible. Okay, keep going.
Anyways, but then because you were on antibiotics for your fever, you had to stay in the pediatric place, and I stayed with you, so basically your dad and I were both sleeping on a twin bed in this this hospital room, and you were a teeny tiny baby. But then you came home and we're 100% healthy.
I'm doing a thumbs up for our home listener.
Yeah. It's very sincere.
Uh-huh.
Then with Ian, he was planned. Didn't have the mishap of the blood pressure bottoming out, because I told the anesthesiologist what had happened the first time. And she was like, we monitor it. And she actually gave me something to kind of bring my blood pressure back up. And it was pleasant, except for after I got the epidural, I threw up. And when you're having a C-section, you're actually, like, kind of strapped down. So you don't, like, you gotta be still. They're cutting you open. And I told her that they have a nurse right by your head the whole time, like, monitoring everything.
Did they, like, vacuum it out?
Yeah.
Oh,
I looked at her, I said, I'm so sorry, but I think I'm about to vomit. She's like, it's okay. And she's got, like, this little hose ready. And I'm puking.
That's what they call me in college!
Pukos? So she's vacuuming out the vomit. I'm crying.
College admissions staff listening to this.
Right?
Get excited about that.
Scholarships are coming. And she's vacuuming it out. And, like, I'm crying and apologizing. And she's like, please, I mean, this is what I'm here for. It's all good. She was so sweet. I wish I had gotten her name.
I love that.
But, yeah, that was the only thing with Ian. He had no mishaps or anything.
So what about, like, what happened after birth? Like, what's that like? Like, like you, personally.
That's a loaded question.
Like,
I was...
emotionally, physically.
So postpartum is real. I remember crying for no reason over everything. Okay, so here's a fun story.
Mm-hmm. Is this the one with the dishwasher?
No.
Okay.
But similar.
Okay, similar story.
No, when I was in the hospital, before I had been discharged, I was, because, your hormones go crazy. So I'm, like, crying over literally everything. Mm-hmm. Like, the nurse brought me another pillow, and I was so thankful, and I cried. So your dad's witnessing me, like, crying about everything. Mm-hmm. So, unknown to me, your sisters and Nina, or not your sisters,
my sisters.
his sisters and Nina had talked to him about getting me a push present, which is... Right. Something you give when somebody gives birth.
Special.
So he shows up.
Oh, God.
With this beautiful pearl necklace and this teeny tiny baby pearl bracelet for you.
Oh, God. That's so cute.
Now keep in mind, I had been crying for like 2 days straight. I open it and I go, oh, that's really sweet. And that's it.
Oh.
And your dad was like, seriously?
You cried over
that
pillow?
Didn't make you cry? And I'm like, I guess I'm all cried out. I don't know. But it was very sweet. And I still have it. And I plan, to pass it on to you, obviously.
Oh.
Over my dead body. But yeah, the emotions were crazy. Yeah. There was a time I was helping your dad and I were loading the dishwasher. And I started crying. And finally your dad just looked at me. He goes, you have got to cut it out. I was like, dude, I realize I'm being ridiculous. I can't help it, though.
I love you, Dad, if you're listening. I know you're not, but if you are, I love you.
Yeah, so he was like, he had enough
I feel like this
shit.
just painted him into, like, not something particularly flattering. He's a great man.
No, there was nothing wrong with it. I mean, who would want to put up with that? Right. He had just reached his limit. He's like, seriously,
He's known you for, like, a year at this point.
We're still in the getting to know you phase.
Good times.
I feel like emotionally I was better after Ian, but that's because I had a toddler to take care of.
Right.
There was one time though, because you never threw fits as a toddler, and there was one time it was at nap time, and you were a holy terror, just throwing the biggest hissy fit, crying. Ian was crying, and at the time your dad worked like 5 minutes up the street, so I called him. I said, "You need to get home, or I'm going to murder these children." So I go outside, I just let you guys cry it out. And I sit outside on the patio, or the porch, and your dad comes home, and we walk in the house, and both of you are asleep. I was like, these little bastards just made a liar of me.
Only one of them's a bastard, actually. I had to.
But he was like, your dad was like, what's the big deal? I'm like, buddy. But no, yeah, emotionally I was better after. I say that, but that's when I got my anxiety. So, it happens.
Ian. Just kidding.
Look at you,
Looking at you, buddy. Yeah, well, that's fun.
Yeah.
Pregnancy, the idea of it, obviously, it's not on the horizon for me. I'm 15. But, terrifies me.
Yeah.
It's so much. I'm like, that sounds so awful and horrible, and I never want to do it.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
You may change your mind, you may not.
My body, my choice.
That's right.
We're pro-choice in this house.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah. What's the line from Juno? Your baby probably has fingernails. I love Juno. That's such a good movie.
Juno is a great movie.
All right. Well, topics change. I thought that would take more time than it did.
I've gotten very good at telling the story.
What's your favorite part about being a mom? This is a you episode.
Favorite part? Watching you guys, grow into your own people, when you were babies, you were my people, and I could, mold you or whatever, and now you guys are just, stubborn and kind of jerks.
Yeah, we're terrible. We're very mean people.
No, I like seeing your
What did Ian say last week? What? You're not gonna hit me? Oh,
I should have throat chopped him.
So mad. You were so mad.
I mean, he's right.
I mean, yeah.
But
and then I went in the room and I said, you have to apologize to her. She's very upset. And then he didn't.
Yeah. That's good. Good times.
I like this. It's like a scrapbook of our teenage years.
Yes. Yeah, because we all want to relive those. No, but that's my favorite part, is watching you guys, grow into your own personalities. With you, especially, seeing who you choose as friends and who you choose to spend your time with. Stop it.
I'm just kind of waving a hair tie in her face.
Oh, God.
I don't know why, but I just feel like I should.
Oh, right. Okay. Is it time for college? Okay.
GHP.
Oh, God. Yeah, so my, speaking of teenagers, I was telling Grandma that you were going to GHP and that...
Which Grandma?
My mom.
Okay.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
your mom or your stepmom.
Okay.
You were so like, what type of question is that? I have two. Jesus.
Sorry, you're right. Anyway, I don't know. I initially thought Nina, and I was like, well, I call her Nina.
Right.
So.
Hey, Nina. Shout out.
Nina.
I don't know if you listen. If you do, hey. Text me penis.
Okay.
Love you, Nina. I'm kidding. You don't have to text me penis.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, do it.
You would.
Oh, God.
But I was telling her, I was like, oh, Marley's going to be gone for 4 weeks. She's only 15. And she's going to be gone for 4 whole weeks. And Grandma says, well, I hope she's better supervised than you were when you went to London.
Because Mom got her tongue pierced in London.
Dude, I was 17.
And she's going to supervise me getting my nose pierced in August. So.
Yeah, and I told Grandma that, and she was like, ugh.
Ugh, boy, bae.
Like, it's just a piercing.
I'm excited. I'm going to look so cool with a nose piercing. Hold on.
It's not like I'm taking you to get a boob job,
Right.
you know?
What if you were? That's a surprise gift.
I'd pay for mine before I pay for yours. I promise
That's
you.
fair. Gotta even them out. As you can see, we don't plan for this. Hummus. We talked about hummus. I'm really excited about all the clothes I got at Goodwill. Very, like, Frasier chic. I've never seen Frasier, but I like the style, you know?
I'm sorry.
It's, you know, like, very campy. I like it. Not supposed to be, but it is.
You said campy, and I immediately thought, like, outdoorsy, and I'm like, no.
That's
nope,
like,
definitely
when the
haven't seen
Met
Frasier.
Gala a few years ago was camp, was the theme. I was like, what? They're all wearing, like, tents. Then I realized I meant, like, camp, like, ugly. And I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I love
Camp
camp always makes me think of Rocky Horror, and I love Rocky Horror. I want to go to a Rocky Horror show so bad.
Definitely should.
I will.
I feel like that's a good
Post-Cove.
thing for Aunt Diana to take you to.
We've talked about it. Diana,
Hit me up, girl.
hit me up as soon as you want to go. We can do it.
Can I come? I mean, you're always, like, hanging out with my best friend without
I
me.
mean, I don't know. We'll talk about it.
We'll take stuff on.
We'll make this a walking meeting. Circle
Right,
back.
so my best friend and my eldest child are hanging out without me. Great. Sounds
We
fun.
do that one time before you got married. You know the story, but the viewers don't. The listeners. We were going to, like, a wedding conference, but the traffic was horrific. You were gonna go, but then you got sick.
Yeah.
And so we were just going, and then we were gonna go to this conference that was, like, we didn't really know why we were going. We didn't really want to go, and the traffic was horrible. She's like, do you want to just go to Little 5 Points? I was like, yes, please. And so we did, and we, like, went vintage shopping and got coffee, and it was a lovely day.
Yeah. She's good people to hang out
She
with.
is. I love you, Diana. She's the only person that when she's driving and I scream because I see a dog, she doesn't yell at me because she also screams when she sees dogs in the car. So, appreciate it. Love you.
Haven't seen her since August. Can you believe that?
August. My birthday.
It was your birthday.
It was my birthday. Wow.
Haven't seen her since August.
Mm,
That's absurd.
it is. Presley made me a house. Shout
That
out
is so
Presley.
sweet.
With a cow. There's a cow in front of the house.
She's such a cool kid.
She is. I love that kid. Let's talk about movies again. Because we talked about Juno, and now I want to talk about more movies.
Okay, what you want to talk
I
about?
don't know. I love Juno. That's such a good movie.
You know what movie's good that we
What?
should tell the story about?
What?
9 to 5.
Please! Oh my god, you tell the story.
Alright, y'all. So, buckle up. There's a local country station that plays, I believe the game's called How Country Are You? Where you call in, you gotta be caller number blah blah blah. And they ask you, I guess, country-related questions. I guess they were country-related, yeah. So, my husband, Mr. Free,
Mr. Free.
actually made it
Are we
in.
in Pride and
Like,
Prejudice? Oh, Mr. Bennett! Mr. Bennett!
So he...
My porn nerves! I'm sorry, I'm done.
He's the right caller. So
Right.
he's super amped because he's on the radio.
Right. Very country.
He
He's
is
country.
he is very
You know,
country.
born and raised in middle of nowhere, Georgia.
One question was, what do you cook boiled peanuts in? And he says, salt water, which I thought was legit.
That sounds
But they
legit.
were looking for the vessel, right? So they kind of tease him. The DJs kind of tease him a little bit, like, oh, like, what do you put it in? And so he said kettle, which is correct. And they're like, fine, we'll give it to you. Second question was, it was like 3 phrases that have to do with hunting something.
Mm-hmm.
And he said duck. One was a I can't remember the clues, but it was like a call. And he said duck, but they were looking for turkey. Okay. Whatever. Also stretch.
They seem very arbitrary.
The third question, y'all. The third question. Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin, and this country star are most famous for their roles in 9 to 5. And James...
Now, wait, hold on. Let's talk about this for a second. 9 to 5 is a very famous movie.
Very.
With a very famous song.
Very much so.
Very famous. By maybe one of the most popular female country artists ever.
Right.
She's an American treasure.
Right.
She's maybe my favorite person in the whole wide world. She reminds me of every, like, sweet older lady that I've met in my life living in the South. Like, I love that woman.
She is the Southern Betty White.
She is. Like, she's the greatest ever.
Yeah.
She got vaccinated. It was an iconic moment. Like...
Cold shoulder shirt.
Oh my god, she planned for it. She's great.
Perfect. She's an angel on earth.
Angel, we love her.
So, James is drawing a blank, and he's on air. Drawing a blank. And they're like, she also wrote and performed the song 9 to 5. Drawing a blank, and he's like,
Such a famous song. Like, I'm not a country fan. I religiously have listened to that song at different points in my life.
He was so clueless that he brought a professional on-air personality down to say, rhymes with folly fartin'. On radio in Atlanta. But they gave it to him anyway.
So they're divorced now.
So, yeah.
Haven't talked to him since. So,
R.I.P.
James, if you're listening, know that we wish you the best in your future endeavors. We're kidding. He still lives here.
I just razz him about Dolly Parton all the time. Like, how do you not know that?
Dolly Parton.
It's
Let's
even
talk
more
about
upsetting.
all of her iconic songs. Let's list them.
Jolene.
I
Will always love you.
Here You Come Again.
Islands in the Stream.
Dumb Blonde.
9 to 5.
9 to frickin' 5! Oh my god! Okay. We'll put that away for now.
I guess. I'm just disappointed. And now I've got to convince him to watch the damn movie. And you need to see it too. But.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like as a concept, I'm not super into it because it's like, it's very like, see, it's funny because she's a woman with big boobs. See, it's funny. Like, ha ha.
Oh no, there's more to it than that. I promise you.
Okay.
It's about like a misogynistic boss and these 3 women that work for him. It's really good. You'd like it. It's girl power. I promise.
Hashtag girl boss.
Girl boss.
Don't talk to yourself. Have my coffee and lasagna.
Mondays. I'm Kathy.
Garfield is a girl boss.
I wish I could remember any of Dilbert jokes and I'd make one of those. You don't know Dilbert. It's a comic strip all about the working class.
The proletariat, if you will.
I won't.
Marx, man. I only read half the Communist Manifesto. Then I got depressed. Depressed. My friend and I were reading it together. And I texted her, I was literally like, I can't handle this anymore. I'm like, this is driving me insane, and I'm not medicated yet, so I need to quit.
Yet.
And then I got medicated, and I'm doing great.
Thriving, if you will.
I will. Fluoxetine, man. Highly recommend when prescribed.
Okay, all right. When prescribed by a doctor.
All right, so look at us. We're just about hitting the mark. Don't look at me like that. Don't look. You're no better than me.
Oh, right. The gloves come off. Oh, somebody get this girl another Prozac.
Get her a Corona. All right. Well, this has been fun.
It was. And today's been fun.
Yes.
We've
had a great
day.
Show. Yes, we're gonna have a fashion show. It's gonna be so great. Oh, I got a sweatshirt that says garbage across it. I'm very excited. I don't know if it's the band or just like the concept of garbage, but I love it.
Either way, it's cute.
Yeah. So follow us on Instagram at Clown Show Podcast. Facebook too at Clown Show Pod. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, which just has our podcast on it, and you can also listen on Spotify every other Wednesday. Yeah. Anything else? Shop inspired by t-shirts.
Yes!
Yes.
Yes, a shout out to Inspired by T-shirts, and that's Inspired. Just the letter N.
If you go to our Instagram, they're tagged in, like, a lot of our posts.
And they have some dope sweatshirts.
They're, like, one of the
T-shirts.
4 people we're following. Jenny Slate.
Right.
The 2 of us, and that. So, you know.
I'm a big fan of me, personally.
But yeah,
shop
also
Inspired
follow our
T-shirts.
Instagrams,
They also
especially mine.
Yeah, they also give back to the community. They did, just recently, they did a breast cancer kickback. So.
And we stand, and you can just feel good about that.
Yeah, and they're really quality shirts, so.
And shout out.
Marley stole my last one, but whatever.
That's true.
It's fine. It's fine.
That's correct.
It's fine. I know where to get more, so. Highly recommend. Small business.
Shout out to Mark, because, I don't know, why not? Shout out to Diana, and my grandparents, and Nellie, and Nina, and everybody else who's listened. Kevin.
Yeah. Kevin! We should start saying his name like Home Alone.
Kevin!
Kevin is currently on the treadmill listening to this because he...
Run faster! Run faster!
Go, Kevin. Go, Kevin.
The zombies are chasing you!
We're like a horrible Peloton ad.
Run Sponsored by Peloton.
All right, Kevin, we know you love us, so
yeah,
quit rolling your eyes.
You do. You like how classy I am when I talk about poop, and I burp
Poopsie.
about 15 times an episode. I just drink soda and coffee too fast.
Living too fast. All right, Marley, I love you.
I love you, Mom.
Kisses.
All right.